All right, we'll go ahead and start off this wonderful Monday morning talking about our ethics paper. So we talked a little bit about testing, and hopefully this ethics paper will drive home the importance of it. But before that, anything over the weekend we should talk about that happened ethically? Ooh, since we're talking about ethics? No, I don't remember anything either. Nothing?
Nothing ethically, other than I guess somebody's trying to make a bank account in my name, which is ethically bad.
Unethical. Non. Okay.
Whatever. I'm tired.
It's fine.
We know grammar here.
Yeah.
Grammar. We know grammar.
Science. We're computer science majors, not English majors.
Not English. All right. So we're going to consider the fundamental problem with software availability and reliability. Most applications we write are viable with a low success rate. Most of the time when you write an application for a mobile device, if it's like, hey, let's do this quick little tool, if someone's life doesn't matter. So it's usually, as long as someone's, right, I mean, it's a phone, right? I mean, if you're trying to make an emergency phone call, it's different. But most of the other tasks on your phone are not life dependent. Medical or any type of health technology is usually a huge exception since, it's life or death going on. For example, the good old Therac 25, hey look, there's a Wikipedia article, and I don't know why it didn't highlight, but it didn't, was a radiation therapy machine that, due to software errors, gave lethal doses of radiations to patients.
That's not good.
No, it's that's less than stellar, right?
I bet you that person got fired.
Oh, well.
If that's all that happened to them.
Well, let's see what happened.
Consider them lucky.
So this is how you do it. The technician mistakenly types an X into the computer, which signifies the X-ray beam, aka the high radiation. Then immediately realizing the error, change the X to an E for the electron beam, aka the low radiation, hit enter. Then the machine showed it was ready to start the treatment. If this sequence occurred in less than 8 seconds, by the way, in this sequence in this time frame was never tried in the original testing of the machine, just so you know. The computer gave the signal beam ready, and the technician pressed B to deliver the beam, but the computer responded with an error message. Usually this message meant that the treatment had not been delivered, so the technician repeated the process and delivered another beam to the patient, and yet again the error message occurred until eventually something happened and it was able to stop giving radiation to the patient. Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? Okay.
Probably a lot of radiation.
What's that?
Probably a lot of radiation.
Yeah. And radiation's bad, okay?
Well, we either end up with a dead person or the whole.
But we got rid of the cancer, right?
Yes.
Yes. Whew.
Did the job, so it's fine. Sorry.
After investigation of the problem, which you can thoroughly read right here, also directed to GitHub as Therac, I guess I'll publish that. It was determined that software at fault was delivered by a single programmer. A single programmer? The single programmer, and when I say single, I don't mean that the programmer was single. I mean that there was one programmer. Make sure that was clear. Woo. The programmer focused on integrating software with the hardware and spent little time testing only the software piece. The system was tested at a whole at the end, but the programmer did not test, actually it wasn't he, test the software. Well, so the first question is, who's at fault here? Or is there fault? Or what should we do about this?
The programmer's fault.
Programmer's fault. Yeah, we like to play the blame game, don't we?
Question.
Yes.
Is the technician the same person as the person who input the E for the low
Yes, that's the
radiation?
technician. The technician is the one who uses it. Think of it as the user that's been trained to use the device.
Okay, so he's the programmer and the user, so...
No. The programmer is the one who wrote the software. The technician is the one that's using it on the patient.
So you're telling me no one checked it?
No one checked, no one checked what?
This program?
Well, he checked his own program.
They didn't check for this case.
Correct.
It's the technician's fault.
No, the technician's just the user.
Yeah.
The technician was just following the instructions that was given.
He doesn't
He
know.
mistakenly typed X. You should type E. You should type E the first
Human error.
time.
Flock.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right. All right. I'm supposed to be open here.
I think you need a little more context before you can assign blame, though.
Oh, okay. What else do we need to know?
Well, I mean, okay, so yes, the programmer did not test that section of the code, but did you take into account whether they had time to?
As we'll find out, the answer is no.
It's the patient's fault.
We're having cancer, right?
Yeah,
I
I mean, they
mean-
went somewhere called
You have cancer, it's your
Direct
fault.
Your-
It's their fault.
My
Now,
vote
it's
is-
not too long.
My
I
vote.
see y'all are good with the blame game, and you
They
understand
went
how
to the
ridiculous it
sunbed
is.
too much.
What?
They went to the sunbed too much.
No, some of that. Actually, I think we have cream for that now.
We do, but people still don't.
Oh, but this was the 80s. I forgot. No, they have cream like once you have a cancerous growth.
Oh.
Yeah, you can put it on. Yes.
That was their fault being born in the 80s.
No.
Blame their
No, I
parents.
was born in the 80s, but this treatment was performed in the 80s. I wasn't born with cancer. Well, I guess I could, but I wasn't.
What?
Born with cancer? I guess it's possible.
Are you a cancer baby?
Am I a cancer baby? I guess it's possible.
I think it's
That's a new
difficult
kind of
to
thing.
assign
Yeah.
blame as it's.
Oh, I'm so glad y'all don't play the blame game. So the real question is, what should be done? Or what should be a response? Anything should happen? Is someone going to jail?
Should give less than 3 years.
What's that?
Technician should be less than
The punishment must fit the crime.
The technician and the programmer.
Eye for an eye.
Wow. All right. I'm glad we're okay, well, people may quickly conclude it's the programmer's fault. This problem can be complex. In industry, software testing is a financial investment. A company must pay a team of people, usually programmers and others, to test the system. As a law of diminishing returns kick in, hopefully y'all are familiar with that, the cost of testing increases with the need of higher availability and reliability. In other words, the more you need to make sure the software works, the more money you have to pay. And at first you have to pay a little to get a lot of reliability, but as you test and test more, it costs more and more to just get even incremental or smaller amounts of reliability. Since companies must compete, they are tempted to reduce the software testing in order to provide a lower cost. Good morning.
So it's the company's fault.
Now it's the company's fault. Oh man, I'm gonna blame the company now.
That's not really correct because it's really difficult to account for every single possibility, even with a group of testers and programmers.
True. But the point here is they didn't even try. Well, it's not that they didn't try. They obviously didn't perform enough. I forgot how many people died in this thing. Ooh. Maybe we have no interwebs.
That's a troubling question. How many people died in this thing? It's
All at the
massive.
same time. Exact same moment.
All at the same time?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get the
Were they
interwebs.
testing on people or sardines?
People.
Were they live sardines? Alright, root causes. Let's see. 85 to 87. Good old concurrent programming errors. Hey, look, this word, due diligence.
I think it said involved in at least 6 accidents.
Yeah, 6 accidents, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was something like 3 died, 3 lived, and then died of cancer or something like that. Yeah, 3 cases, the injured later died as a result of overdose. So it did kill 3 people.
Ooh, radiation poisoning.
I mean, either way, it's somebody's fault.
So you say blame the company? Totally blame the company? Oh, okay. Poor company, I guess.
They've got money.
They got money.
Well, they determine what project you're working on and how long you're working on it. So if they say, oh, can this work? And you say, I guess, they're gonna be like, good, you're done. Work on this.
Well, if you said, I guess, that implies yes. So then would it be the programmer's fault at that moment? Because they kind of signed off on it?
Depends on the state.
Depend
Depends on the state.
the state? Like, when you say state, which state are you referring to?
Oh, just in general. Sometimes some states will
Some, okay, you meant the territory state, okay, yeah.
Can a programmer say no?
Yeah, don't, yeah,
That's
if someone
difficult.
asks if it's done, just say no. But we can do it.
No, that's difficult when contracts become involved.
Well, yes, we can,
Compliance.
I mean, as an engineer, you can do whatever, but you're never gonna be done. Keep that in mind. Little tips I've learned in life. I know it doesn't make much sense, but trust me. All right, for the first part, ethics paper, answer how we can determine how much testing is necessary. Well, how much testing would be necessary for this?
Until you find all the bugs.
Until you find all the bugs, impossible.
Until
Exactly.
you find all the bugs that involve death.
Again, impossible. Remember the halting problem?
Uh,
So it's not practical to do that. So we gotta come up with a different, I mean, if you want to, you can come up with a different metric.
As many as
Good morning.
possible within a selected time span.
Okay, so you put a time span on it, all right. Okay.
That's I can think of. Like, get as many bugs out as you can in a month.
In a month, okay.
Maybe it would have helped if the software, if the technician didn't keep pressing the button over and over.
But the technician technically didn't do anything wrong. He made a mistake and then corrected it. So he followed the manual, but the machine did not respond as the manual dictated it would.
So you messed up 6 times.
No, he didn't mess up. Not necessarily. I mean, you could say
The
he
error-
did. You
the
could
error
try to argue
stated
that, but that's
that-
gonna be a hard one to convince at least me of.
The definition
Because-
of insanity.
No, the computer responded with an error message, so the
The error
technician would
message said,
repeat this whole
uh,
process to try and get it to work again, and then give it another dose because he finally set it up the way it's supposed to work, and then, yeah.
And the manual said.
In the manual,
There's an
he's
error.
just following the manual, following orders, yes.
Was there any proof that that actually happened, or was that what the technician said? Because he could have been like,
And,
worked.
if you look at the
worked,
paper,
worked.
I mean, what the technician did, we didn't have video cameras on the technician, so we can't confirm it. But what the technician reported was confirmed in a paper later on that that is an error. So there's, there's beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, the technician is correct. How about that? I think, anyone here in law? I think that's the lawful term. Beyond a reasonable
was
doubt.
trying
Yeah,
to
is that the right
make
term?
everybody
Beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the term.
It's like beyond a shadow.
No, beyond a shadow of a doubt means that there's no doubt that you could cast that it happened. And then we could come up with maybe the technician's lying, we come up with some crazy harebrained story, right? So it wouldn't be beyond a shadow of doubt, but it's beyond a reasonable doubt because the technician has no reason to lie, and we can't really think of one, and there's no,
Other than to save their skin.
the technician explained
I'm
it.
just pumping them with
He
radiation.
said
it's
this,
fine.
and then they confirmed it later. Why, I'm sure that we'd come up with a reason it wouldn't happen, but it wouldn't be reasonable to, is the
Did
point.
all the accidents occur before the paper was posted?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Because people start dying, and then they're like, wait a minute.
Well, that's not good.
That's not right. That ain't right.
That wasn't supposed to
One
happen.
person could have done it by accident and then told another person, and then that person could have done it on purpose.
Mm.
Why would they have done it?
Evil.
That's trifling with human lives. That is deliberate malpractice and like ill intent. That's
I mean,
super sketch.
Because
I mean-
evil people exist.
I guess you would have to establish that the technician really wanted they'd have to know the patient.
Oh, they don't have to. You can just want people dead, and then they.
Oh,
just leave them.
so they're, what's the word? Sociopath, psychopath, there you go.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. I don't know what the word is. Well, what
They
is the
have
word?
malintent.
Sure, whatever it is.
A specific word for somebody who doesn't want to kill people. It's just, you just want to kill
They just
people.
want to.
Hey, look, the screen
There's a
disappeared.
word for that.
No.
There's a word for it. It's English. We have words. Many of
You
them.
do? I didn't know.
They just
I know, it's crazy.
You have all these words and things.
Completely
It's amazing.
different story. So what if they typed like the X plus whatever the right answer, like the plus sign, that would work.
They just need to have
what?
buttons for you to click.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but
Adding letters.
but
Yeah.
all it's reported is you did this sequence, bad things happened. And this was a common enough sequence. All right, where were we?
Literally, he typed
Oh yeah,
it.
so back to the point at hand. One person says they should just give it a time frame for testing and then call it done. Anyone else?
Okay.
Other ways to do
So,
it?
I'm just looking at the X and the E on the keyboard.
They're not
Like,
that might
they're
help.
pretty far apart. I don't understand if he typed like W instead of E.
Well, I mean, usually the E or the X stands for execute. So it's, it could have been E or the X. That can easily be a mistake.
I mean, they could
I
be
want
doing
to
high and
execute
low.
the E ray. Is that what he was trying
Yes.
to do? He goes
By
like
the way,
X,
I
E.
know it sounds funny that in order to tell something to start, we execute it.
Yeah.
This is even worse since we're talking about human beings. But anyways. But it's only going to go downhill in architecture and OS, just so you know, with those terminology.
Maybe he got lucky. He was like, he typed in X and like hit enter every time, and then whenever he told him that he typed X and then put a backspace and then an E, maybe like that was just, they found out that happens to be an error, but he was really just typing X and enter, and just like,
He knew of the
X-rays.
and he played it off.
All right, hold on. So the question is, how much testing do we need to do? One person says set a time frame. Anyone else?
All the testing.
All the
until
test.
it's perfect.
They tell us, but we
You need
just.
to put a
Perfect
disclaimer
code.
on your product saying we have not tested for all possible
Ooh,
outcomes.
okay.
So
All
that
right.
way, if anything does happen, it's not your fault.
Okay. All right.
They go
I like this.
liability.
Except you're still the
type
person
thing.
shelling out the procedure, and then Steric also the person who gives the procedure.
Therac is the company.
I don't know if you have this
Yeah.
in your software.
So is Steric distributing the devices?
Yes.
Or?
Just
Okay,
they
so
distribute.
they're not.
They distribute the devices, and I would assume.
they're the
I'd
distributor.
assume also the training, but yeah, the
So
device.
they're the distributor, not the procedure.
No, they're not the one that
Doctor.
performs the seizure. They provide the equipment. So they're the X-ray beam,
Okay, then
or as I
that,
call the death beam,
that could work
death ray.
to
Yes.
some extent.
It's terrible.
Just stay out of the programming field that deals with people's lives in the first place. That's the safe route to go.
Well, I understand that, but it's not like radiation therapy hasn't saved lives, right?
Yeah, but just stay out of that field though.
Someone's got to do this,
It's not us.
and that's why.
You need a more diligent
Look,
programmer.
We're
you might be in a
operating-
situation where something similar to this is going on.
We're operating under the presumption that we have this task that we need to do. What is the best way to do it? with
Right,
the
and
least
I just
errors?
picked an extreme example because it's easier to depict and come to the question, or come to the ethical dilemma. So yeah, one person says set a time frame. Anyone else? One says it's perfect, so it's never released. All right.
They should have made test cases for every letter or option on the keyboard, just to see if it would throw an error.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember the programmer just wrote the software. He didn't test it that much himself, and they did system testing. They didn't have another team of testers to actually test the code itself. Was another issue. Okay, I guess we'll go on. All right, how much testing? So here we go. First one is how much testing is necessary. I guess we've talked a little bit about that. With regards to Therac 25, if the system's too expensive due to testing, then it would be inaccessible to certain individuals who cannot afford it. Oh, here we go. You ready for this one? Is there a viable reason to sell a less reliable, life-threatening system to potentially help more citizens?
It depends on if they care more about lives or money.
Who?
The company,
The
because they're the one
company.
making the money.
Well, beyond the company, just ethically speaking, for the company, what's ethical for the company? Remember, this is ethics, right? This is ethics. So for ethically for the company, sure, is it viable to sell less reliable, life-threatening equipment to potentially help more citizens?
I guess you have to think about it more like a drug than.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. What if you can have your choice of this one, and it costs, I don't know, let's just say 1,000 just to throw numbers, or it costs 100,000 for one that's way more tested.
Everyone's gonna choose the cheaper one, because they think it's the same.
But you have the disclaimer saying that the success rate of this is, I don't know, 80%, and the success rate of the other one is 99%.
I'd
I'll
still
take-
choose the 80.
That's a pretty good
Even if it was 60, I'd still probably choose 60.
Maybe I shouldn't be asking this to people who are so
So
young.
Unless it's like 5 and 90.
We
I'll
don't
still
value
choose
our
the
lives
lower.
as much.
We all really don't.
That's like you offering to give me an 80 on every lab no matter what. I'll take that.
I mean, if I don't have $100,000
No.
on
This
hand, I'm
isn't like
definitely
you
going
do.
for that 1,000.
This isn't like 80% and then it averages to an 80. This is you have 80% and you're either dead or alive.
It's still
like,
a good chance.
I'll take it.
Huh?
It's still a good chance.
I mean,
Like you have an 80% chance.
Maybe I should have dropped this to like 50% or something.
I have an 80% chance to catch food poisoning from the calf.
Well, but the
I
food
So
poisoning-
would still go anyways.
But the food poisoning doesn't kill you.
It could.
This-
the
It
death rate-
could.
Depends on the poisoning.
Going outside every day could cause some poisoning.
The
but
chances
still
of
go.
the food poisoning kill you is very low.
This is going very off topic.
No, I think we're doing great. It's just I have to now play a different part. I'm supposed to be neutral, but
Food
apparently I'm
poisoning
fighting
does
the
suck,
class. The food poisoning has a very slim chance of killing you. This has a greater chance of taking you out,
I mean,
giving you a dirt nap, putting you 6
I
feet
mean, if
under.
you get food
How many more
poisoning,
terms do you want?
You're gonna want to wish you're dead while it's happening anyway.
Maybe. I think most people, when they talked about it, the ones who received too much, they felt like they said, yeah, there was a slight burning sensation.
I mean,
When you say stop.
Well, it was so slight, they thought it was supposed to happen.
in an ideal world, the answer would be no, but since the world isn't exactly ideal, I'd say it depends on the circumstances behind each individual.
Hence why it's an ethical question and why I'm asking for answers, yes.
So Cody said it's similar to like getting Mountain Lightning or Mountain Dew.
Yeah, you could pay for the premium $100,000 Mountain Dew, right? This is just equal to those numbers, or the $1,000 Mountain Lightning. It's the
Right,
same.
so the mountain lightning, you just have to remember it has a 20% chance of killing you every time you drink it.
Yeah.
I
The cost,
Worth it.
let's be real. With the extra
Could
money
you
you
not
save, you
provide
can pay
both?
on.
Right, no, you could provide, that's what I'm saying, the company could provide both and just say it's $1,000 for the one that works 80% time or $100,000 for the 99.9% working all the time.
They could
Just provide
do
that.
the one that they already submitted,
Mhm.
have that one out, and be like, we're gonna improve it, but this is the one that has like this much percentage.
Oh,
So
okay.
if people did want to start with a lower one, like they needed it now, they could start with it, but they know if they want a better chance of the patient survival, then they can wait and get the more expensive one.
So it sounds like you're arguing that there is a reason to at least get it to
It's like a
market sooner.
prototype almost.
You're saying a reason to get it to market sooner, even if it doesn't work completely correctly.
Well, if they don't do it, will they die?
Well, this is cancer, so you would assume that a percentage of them would die, yes, but maybe not 100%.
So either way,
You'd be
Gonna
saving a
die.
couple lives at least.
Sure, possibly.
80% sounds better than dying
0.
definitely to cancer.
yeah.
All right.
Would I sell a prototype in an
This didn't go
emergency
the direction we
situation?
thought it would.
No. It's just that I have to. It's like
You
I
might
have
have
to
to
pull
change it
the
for next
answers
year.
out of you. No, I have to pull the answers out of you. That's what's going on. Yeah.
So the company could just be generous and test it and just make less money by doing it for less with the tested version.
Out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, but that's not human to do that, so
No.
they want to make as much money as
See,
possible.
it's sad that you can say that and it be true.
Exactly. People aren't generous.
Broken world.
Yeah.
Broken world. All right. What was the last one? Is there another way to solve these issues? Hey, would you use the machine? Oh, there's a good one.
If I have cancer, yeah.
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 Cheap cancer.
I mean,
Specifically,
well, again, context. How many people actually
That's what I'm
use
saying.
this thing?
I mean, if it's like a
Um,
I mean, if a million people use it and only 6 people die.
No,
I
it
would
was not a
still
million.
go
No, it
use
was not a million. It was something more like 100 used it and 6 died or something like that.
Oh,
I
that's,
think that's
pretty
pretty
good odds.
That's good.
That's better.
6%.
Pretty alright
That's
chance.
better than 80%.
That's
meanwhile, Paul
94%.
lists
That's
greenhouse
not even
plates as
that
major
bad.
things to avoid speaking to idiots.
94%.
See, we still go to college, even though there's a large percentage that drops out, and we just don't even look at that. I mean, that's like the same thing.
We just pretend those numbers don't exist.
Yeah.
I'm a college student. $1,000 cancer treatment.
What's so funny is how every class reacts differently to this. Like one of them was like, "It is the programmer's fault. He needs to go to jail, or we need to execute him." Like,
Oh.
okay, hold on, guys. Hold on a second here. This one's like, yeah, this is great. Keep
Those
going.
people sound interesting. I want to see them.
Oh, it jumps all over the place. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? Oh, yes. This is a great one. Secondly, consider that most U.S. states require a certification process for non-software engineers. So if you were an engineering major, you'd have to be a certified engineer in order to do things like build bridges or make art or diagrams for other things. This certification process helps to ensure that the engineer can build a reliable product. Should a similar process be required for software engineers?
Probably yes.
That's what we do with computer science, though, is that we make reliable things.
It'd be a
I'm
very
saying
specialized
no.
field, yeah.
If I paid all this money to go to college to get a software engineering degree, I wouldn't want to have to get a software engineering certificate that a non-software engineer would have to get to do the same thing I do.
I mean, I understand for money that's the case, but for engineer like civil engineers, that's what they do. They go to college for at least 4 years, and then they have to get certified afterwards. Now, keep in mind that when you're undergrad, like if this was a requirement, during our coursework, we would prepare you for that exam to make sure you pass it afterwards.
Well, we already take an exit exam and we do all these ethics papers, so I don't see why we needed a certification.
The certificate is to ensure the engineer can build a reliable product, so the state or the federal government comes in and says, hey, you must pass this exam that shows that you are going to do certain things to help increase the reliability of your software.
Then it should be a free exam.
Should
If
be
it's
a free,
required,
I
then
don't
it
know if
should
it's
be
free or
free.
not. Of course, there's no such thing as a free lunch, so it'd be funded by taxpayers, I guess is what you're saying? Yes, okay.
What if the certification was sort
Nobody
of
wants to eat a test.
No.
built in?
But you get all your fiber.
What if the certification was sort of built into like a software degree?
Right, I mean, yeah, we could do that. We could build it into the software degree.
No, not into the degree itself, but more like into the coursework, into like there's a necessary
Okay.
class.
I think we took the question a little wrong way. Should the government, state or federal, start dictating what software engineers need to do or need to know before going into the workforce? How about
Yes.
No, the
Yes.
company should.
Depends on your job, or what you're building.
that? We got yes and it depends. All right, come on, guys. What do you mean? Yeah.
I think the company should dictate like the reliability of their employees, because I mean they hire them and they know their work, so if they think that they're reliable, then that's the company's issue.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, believe that there are already certain invisible standards in place as to sort of what you need to know whenever you're going to get into a programming field. If maybe there's ways to make it more clear what you
Okay.
need to know and be able to do whenever you're going into the field.
Okay. Okay.
Especially since the government already sort of has a hand in this sort of build-up that we do to get that software degree.
Well, I will admit that when it comes to software, the government, of course, is regulating a couple things, but they're pretty hands off right now. The internet's kind of the Wild West still, although it's not as wild as it used to be. But they're pretty hands off because they just kind of just let whatever. They do crack down on certain things that you can only find through Tor, which is good. But but they're not cracking down like they do with regular civil engineers.
That's because Google and all that does for them.
Okay, does it for them? I guess. What do you mean by does it for them? How about that?
So it don't let you. So if you Google search something, it's not gonna pop up like everything. It's gonna pop up what they want you to see.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what they do for China, because China will be like, we can't have these things shown, so Google moderates, I guess. I don't know. They change their software to accommodate so that way they can make more money.
Okay.
So like you can't look for a murder through Google.
Or you can not look up bad things about the Chinese government when you're in China.
When you're in China. Okay, so Google's already being nice, fulfilling. Okay. I think, yeah.
So the government might be doing stuff to Google saying they can't do things, but they're not doing directly to us.
Right, because technically Google, do they have an effective monopoly? They kind of do. An effective
Yeah.
monopoly.
I mean, they're the best ones.
I mean,
so
For search engines,
I
right?
don't know if anyone uses Bing.
Bing. And Yahoo just uses Google. Don't we have DuckDuckGo?
I remember that one.
Well, there was also Ask Jeeves. There used to be a whole lot of them. Dogpile.
Internet
Lycos.
Explorer,
Oh, there were some.
Firefox.
Yeah, there's some big great ones.
They're the more
But they're all dead. Okay. Just keep in mind, one thing no one brought up is, remember with the civil engineer, the classic one is they're building a bridge, which is a public shared resource. So, it does make a little, so from that standpoint, the government can't get their hands in because
It's public.
it's more public. Although the internet is free reign. So in a way there's a huge debate now about how public the internet is. By huge I mean still ongoing. Because is it public or private when you go on the internet?
It's public if you can get on it, but not everyone has the money to be able to access it.
Sure. Okay. You are free to give your opinion on what you think is right or wrong regarding the way this technology has impacted society and moral obligations to professional. But keep in mind that if you certain extreme ones, I may have to talk to you about. However, you must provide a balanced discussion of it, utilizing other sources to create a logical argument for your opinion. So keep in mind, guys, when you write this paper, I'm interested in your logical argument. And also, I do not care about the 5-paragraph essay. You can do that if you really want to. Is that what they teach in high school still?
Did not when high schooler. I did not when high schooler.
Did you go to pub? Were you homeschooled or?
No, I did go to high school. I'm not a high schooler currently.
But did they teach that when you were in high school?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It started as 3 whenever you were in elementary and middle school, then it went up to 5.
And
Just
then
like
they
with the
want-
sentence structure, it said 3 sentences for a paragraph, and then they're like, oh no, we need at least minimum
I think the
5.
5-paragraph essay is probably the most
I'm 7.
damaging tool against computer scientists there are.
You just
because-
keep typing one continuous thing. That's how
Well,
you do it.
for us, the reason they exist is because some people don't understand structure. We get structure, period. It's not the structure we have problems with. It's the sentence flow and, we know how to make our argument. We just need to know how you write the intro, the conclusion, and then make it flow from one.
Transitions.
Yeah, the transitions. That's what we're terrible at. But that's not what they teach. Anyways, you must provide a balanced discussion utilizing sources to create a logical argument. Good sources are, hey, look, the Bible, ACM Code of Ethics, Professional Code, the IEEE Code of Ethics, and other sources from the library or respectable internet sites. Ha! I've always wondered what that means.
Well, you put wiki up there, so apparently
Apparently that's fully respectable. I'm looking for your ability to create a logical argument, 3 or more sources in the confines of 2 pages, 12-point font, double-spaced. All right, guys. Look, we're not English majors, but you got to give me a good argument. Make sure you cite at least 3 sources. Fair warning, I will not be grading this. My wife will be grading this, and her degree is in humanities. I loved it when I told my wife that. She said, "Oh, I don't know how to grade college students' papers." I'm like, "I don't think you're going to have a problem." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to pick up on all the intricacies of English on them." Like, no, trust me.
You're fine.
You're going to be fine. And the first one, she's like, "Oh, these poor students. Oh, these poor students." So when it comes back bloody red, because that's what's going to happen to most of y'all, keep in mind that I am more looking into your ability to create a logical argument, and I'm going to provide feedback on how to make you a better writer, because we're all terrible writers.
Is this a printed submission to you?
No, you're going to submit it on GitHub
Okay.
under the directory, and then I will print it and then give it back to you.
And we'll see this PDF on the GitHub?
Yes, if not soon. It'll be uploaded to the GitHub.
Okay.
Whenever you say that, I want to say Gibson. Ooh, anyone remember that movie? I'm on a movie quote roll today. I don't know. Hackers? No one? Hacking the Gibson? Yeah? Yeah, okay, let's see on one. The other one I'm wondering is when all the Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes are going to go out of style.
Hopefully never.
Oh, good. I hope not.
All of his quotes will be alive for hundreds of years.
All right, good. I'm glad a couple of things are still around. All right, so hey, look. Let's go look at the Bible. Very important collection of books, in case you haven't noticed. So Deuteronomy, good Old Testament, one of my favorites. I mean, just because it's the setup, and then Jesus comes in and knocks it out of the park. When you build a house, make a parapet. Of course, it's a little harder for him that around your roof, so that you may not bring the guilt of bloodshed to your house if someone falls off the roof. Parapet is like if someone's up on the house, you put like nets along the side, so if they roll off the house, they don't roll to their death.
Just tell them not to go on the roof.
But someone needs to work on the roof.
Oh well.
We just build a new house.
But someone has to build the roof on the new house.
Yeah.
Well, you do that.
But if you roll off.
Your
Exactly.
house, your problem.
It's a new house.
All right. Live free, die hard.
Yes.
Yes.
But Corinthians, take care that the rights of yours does not somehow become a stumbling block to the weak. I guess it's kind of bad to think of a programmer as the one that thinks of their rights becoming a stumbling block to the weak that are receiving the radiation, but oh well. Maybe it was a little bit of a stretch. Okay, you're the salt. Oh, Matthew, I'm sorry, 5:13-16. You're the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses saltiness, how can it be made salty again? If you are no longer good for anything except to be thrown and trampled on by men, you are the light of the world. A city on the hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp to put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand that it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men. They may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven.
This is like being able to make the technology and just not selling it.
You can't have it.
I can make it, but I'm just not going to sell it to you.
It's all about, but then you're not,
It's like I don't want you to
but
have
then you're
it,
not
so.
helping other people.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the verse is saying. Like, don't do that.
Like,
Oh,
Don't
okay,
just
don't-
keep your.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, good.
Like I can make the technology, but I don't want you to have it.
Right. Right. And of course, the good old golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. A.k.a. would you take the machine?
Which one?
If they're at 25, would you?
Sure.
Oh, okay, good. Good, just making sure. Ah, yes, Ephesians 4:29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building up others according to their needs, that may benefit those who listen. Usually I write this one because the argument might get a little more heated, but y'all seem to have all agreed. Yeah. And then 1 Corinthians, whew. Ah. Thanks. 10:23-24. Everything is permissible, but not everything's beneficial. Everything's permissible, but not everything's constructive. No one should seek his own good, but the good of others. Huh. I wish I could teach my kids that. All right. How are we doing?
Society listen to that.
What's that?
Wish society would listen to that.
Yeah. All right. Questions, comments, screams?
I didn't know that Luke verse was in the Bible because I'm like, they use that in like all schools, but they don't say it's a Bible verse, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a Bible verse.
So you're not supposed to use Bible verses in school, so that's fun.
Uh-huh.
In public schools.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, the 10 Commandments, don't steal, don't covet, don't murder, don't bear false witness. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
I think one of them was
Those are
honor thy
rules.
father
Wait a
and thy
minute.
mother.
What's that?
I think one of them was
Honor thy father and mother. Yeah, oh no, we can keep going. I think the only one they skip right now is you should not, well, actually, no. The schools kind of do this. You should not have any false gods. But some kids, they're going to worship screens and whatnot. So even that's in there. Huh, it's almost like,
For that separation.
It's almost
church
like
and
they
state.
don't use the Bible, but they use it. It's like the off-brand version is what they're trying to use.
It's not the Bible.
The off-brand
It's
version.
They're
something
trying to
else.
make an off-brand version
It's
of
like
the
there's
Bible to
actually
follow.
good moral advice in the Bible.
And it's like the morality that they're using came from a source. Huh.
They're not checking their sources, plagiarism.
Plagiarized. We should call them out every time. That's plagiarism. You're-
You get to get a 0 on all your homework now, plagiarism.
Yeah. That would be terrible if the kid cheats and then says, "No, we're not supposed to be religious anymore." That would be an interesting argument. Huh. So yeah, separation of church and state. Huh. Okay. All right. Anything else? Y'all think you can write 2 pages? You got this? Yes?
Why use many words when few words do trick?
And why use a small word when a diminutive one will suffice? Yes?
Get wrecked, Cameron.
Yes?
Is type 2 pages mean 2 pages front and back?
No. No. 1 page on the front, double spaced, 12-point font.
I can print it off front and back.
You can, like, if you print it off front to, you're not going to print this. Really? Is someone going to print this? I've actually never had a student print this and hand it to me printed. I mean, y'all can. I'll just judge you for it, but that's okay. Yeah, just give it, 2 pages, you know.
What if I print from one side normally and the other side's upside down? So you have to flip it like.
I'm okay with that. Whatever. Submit it electronically.
I'm gonna print one side in portrait and one side in landscape.
The sentence, just keep it going. All right. Any other questions? How about actual questions? No?
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Hold on. Oh, yes. I had to go take more child abuse training.
Oh.
What?
Because I volunteer at my church, and when you volunteer to do nursery at the church, in order to keep your insurance, you have to have training from the state that teaches you about child abuse, which I've already taken before. And let me go ahead and summarize all child abuse training for you.
Don't touch them.
No, it's actually very simple. All men are pedophiles. The end.
Huh.
Didn't know that, did you?
Sounds about right.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I knew you.
That's a summary of the training, just so you know. But we're not sexist, okay?
Never.
Never.
Well, that looks like a double standard going on.
What?
That's the whole dress code in schools, but we don't talk about that.
Didn't you know men can't be raped by women, bro?
Yeah, that too.
Apparently.
Impossible. It's impossible.
And men aren't allowed to cry, ever.
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 Even though it happened all the time in the Bible.
Jesus wept. That's a quote.
Yeah, that's legit one quote in the Bible.
That was great. And then on Sunday, church was great. And then my daughter decided to go to a birthday party where they did, what is it called? Go-karts the whole time. Yeah, so that was fun. And so I had to stay home. I'd stay home with the boys, which is usually good, until they don't give me the stroller, so I can't take the baby outside. Then bad things happen. But anyways. So thank you. How was your weekend?
I stayed on campus.
You didn't have to take any child abuse training?
No,
Good.
I was at work all weekend.
I recorded that whole conversation, didn't I?
Training if you're still a child.
Technically,
Oh, that's a
you're not
great
child
picture.
after 18 by
Yeah,
legal
by
standards.
legal standards, yep.